What's up guys, it's Alec, and today I've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news is that over the last 2 weeks, I've once again been completely neglecting my Etsy print-on-demand store, and I haven't been posting many new products. We've also only been making about $1,000 a week, which puts me on track to hit my goal in about 100 weeks, which is completely unacceptable. Not only that, but the holiday season that's been generating us consistent sales is almost over. The good news is, over the last week, we broke $5,000 in revenue, over 200 sales, and I've only spent about $9.40 in marketing. So today we're jumping into the computer to look at the exact numbers to see how much money I'm making, how much money I'm spending on marketing, why I think people are finding and ordering from my shop instead of someone else's, and I'll even break down my exact profit and loss so you can see how much money I'm keeping, how much money I'm spending, and what I'm spending it on to generate consistent sales every day. But right before I start, if you enjoy this type of content, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button or the subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and as a thank you for stabbing the like button, here's a picture of a cute duck. Now let's get right into it. So if we jump into the computer, you can see we've almost done $6,000 since we opened up our shop on November 2nd. Now, because we were suspended for a week, we've done about $1,000 a week. But even more interesting than that is you can see that we've done almost all of the sales in the last 2 weeks. We were doing $300 to $500 days, and we even had a day where we did $707. This is probably because I was offering delivery by Christmas, which is risky to do with print on demand because you can't necessarily control it. But all of the products got delivered as expected, so we're a-okay. I definitely spoke a little too soon. Right after I finished recording this video, we started getting a lot of customers reaching out saying they hadn't received their packages, and I'll talk more about this in the next video, but we did end up losing several sales over this issue, and it was because our orders had been getting routed to a different warehouse where they weren't even shipping out the products, and several orders got lost in the mail. So yeah, spoke a little too soon, but don't guarantee delivery times on your orders. And a couple days ago, I removed those listings just so that I wouldn't have to deal with a bunch of refunds and cancellations the closer we get to Christmas. You can see our daily conversion rate here, which is how many people see your listings to how many people actually purchase, and our average is about 8%, which is actually fairly high, so let me explain why I think that is. One of the first listings that I posted right when I opened my shop sold about 2 weeks later on November 15th, and that listing, since it sold so early on, has been getting promoted quite heavily. And because customers have had time to receive their items and leave positive feedback on the listing, it's generated more social proof for my shop, and therefore just generated more and more sales. It's kind of like a snowball effect. As I've built up more sales history, you can see it kind of compounding, and we've been getting more and more sales each day, just as the months go on. Each time we get a positive 5-star. Each time someone leaves a 5-star review, it makes the next customer even more comfortable placing an order with our shop. But I also use Etsy Mockups, which drive super high conversions. So the way that I find super high converting mockups is by doing this. And first thing is to search for a product that's similar to what we're selling. So as you can see, I put in custom t-shirt photo, and this is basically just a bunch of listings that offer you a custom t-shirt where you can upload your own photo. At a glance, you can see that this store, called BBB Custom, is pretty successful, boasting around 16,000 reviews. So I click on it, and you can see that this listing alone has over 1,000 reviews on it. I average 1 review per 10 orders, so that means that this listing could have sold about 10,000 times just on its own. But we can actually buy the exact same mockup that they're using and use that to sell our own custom products. We just can't copy their listing exactly, so let me show you how I do that. After doing a little bit of searching, I typed in dark gray heather mockup, and after looking through a bunch of the listings, I finally found it right down here. When you click on it, you can see that this mockup is literally $5, and it's generated that other store thousands of dollars. You can see the same shop, BBB Custom, is reusing the same mockup over and over. They're just switching out the design that's on top of it. So if you take your time and find really good high converting mockups like this one, you can download it, you can buy them, download them, and reuse the same mockup over and over. And honestly, you could probably build an entire store with this single mockup and grow it to over 6 figures. This shop, BBB Custom, has easily done over $1 million in sales. If you look at their 88,000 sales, and you take the average price of just a normal t-shirt, it's about $16, and they charge about $5 to ship it. And if you multiply their average sales price of about $21 times their 88,000 sales, they've done close to $2 million. That's the exact way that I find high converting mockups, and that's likely why the products that I've listed have already started selling. So if you're following along, you can literally use the exact same strategy to find mockups that'll work for you. And there's tons of mockups that are high converting. It just takes a little bit of searching on Etsy. So at the end of the video, I'll break down my exact profit and loss on the almost $6,000 that we've made. But for now, let me talk about how I've only spent $9.40 on marketing. I didn't actually pay for any marketing, I've only paid for the listing fees. If you look at the search terms that our listings are coming up for, they're coming up for very similar search terms. Custom shirt, custom t-shirt min. And those are all of the search terms that my listings might come up for if a customer puts it in Etsy. If we take a look at the shirt that we just talked about, you can see that they've packed their title with keywords. So they use birthday photo shirt, holiday gift, family picture tee, and a bunch of other keywords all in their title. They're using almost all 140 characters that's allowed within the title to get as many keywords as they can. They've also filled out all of their tags. So if we come down to the bottom, you can see that all of these little bubbles, each one of these is a tag. You're allowed about 13 tags with about 20 characters per tag, and they've used all of them. So this listing has 7 different keywords in the title, and they have all 13 tags. That equates to about 20 possible searches for this listing to show up for. Now that's why I make more than one custom listing. Because if I make 20 custom listings and use great keywords every single time, that means I've multiplied the chances of my custom listings getting seen 20x. That's literally 400 chances of getting seen just off of keywords. And then once I have my first listing sell, Etsy's algorithm knows to promote all my other listings because they're probably similar to the one that sold, that someone bought and left a 5-star review for. Again, Future Alec here. I forgot to mention I have 47 listings up, which at close to 20 keywords per listing, that's roughly 940 searches. Even though I reuse keywords like custom shirt multiple times, having multiple listings up containing the same keyword gives me more opportunities to show up each time I use it in a listing. So my strategy is the same to find successful keywords. I'll look at the listings that are on the first page of search results that are already selling super well, and I'll look at what keywords they're using in their title and tags. And while you can't just copy someone's title directly, you can look at the common keywords and use those in your own title. So for example, this one has birthday photo shirt, holiday gift, and family picture tee all in the title. If we look at this shirt, you can see that they have something like make your own shirt or personalized kids shirt. And you can add these different keywords to get a bunch of different title variations for each one of your listings. And by doing this, I don't even have to pay for any kind of fancy keyword finder. I just look at what's already working and I imitate their success. So my 47 listings that I've posted have about 940 opportunities to get searched or get seen. When you look at it that way, it almost makes more sense to just list more products instead of running ads. Especially when you consider that posting a listing only costs about 20 cents and running ads, well, it can run up your whole budget without you even getting a sale. And once you get a high converting mockup, you can just reuse it over and over by switching out the design that's on top of it. So you don't have to buy a new mockup each time you list a new product. I do make each listing different than one another by offering different colors, fonts, or shipping options. And I probably have about 4 different mockups for each product that I'm selling that I rotate through. This is because Etsy doesn't want you to just spam the same listing over and over, and they could punish you if you do that. So if you want to see how I get a bunch of other variations, make sure you check out episode 2. I explain how to get literally hundreds of different variations from the same product. And now for my favorite part of the video, how much money I've made and how long it's taken. We sold a total of 253 products from about 178 orders. 230 of those products were shirts and 23 of them were mugs. As of today, which is December 20th, we've earned a total of $5,855.55. Etsy takes their fees of $666.06, which brought our profit down to $5,188.95. But after we pay Printify $3,123.57 for all of the products and shipping, we're left with $2,065.38. I've done about 35 hours of consistent work at this point, putting in about 5 hours a week. That does not include making these videos. That means that my hourly rate is about $59 an hour based on my take-home profit. My profit margin is currently at 35%, which is right on the sweet spot of where we want to be for essentially a t-shirt business. And just for the giggles, if we had used Printful to fulfill these orders, I would have spent about $4,688.32, leaving us with about $500 in profit. That's why I always use Printify, and if you decide to sign up using my link down below, it helps me out a little bit if you become a successful seller. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Smack the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you next week.